Hello friends, my name is McKenna and welcome to Knit Between the Lines, a knitting podcast. This is a podcast where I talk about knitting, spinning, reading, and any other fun stuff I might get up to along the way. So grab whatever project you're working on and let's jump into it. First things first, I want to talk about what I'm wearing today, and that is my Felix Pullover by Christoffers. This is probably one of my favorite sweaters that I've ever knit, and that has a lot to do with the fit and obviously the yarn that I chose. I love this sweater. It is a raglan construction with these really beautiful eyelets along the raglan increases. It is a Aran weight gauge, so it's a super quick knit, and I absolutely love the yarn that I chose, which is Explorer Knits and Fibers on their Carlsbad worsted base on their Freshwater Mussels colorway from their Farmers Market collection. It is a absolutely beautiful colorway and this like super beautiful, almost heathered navy blue yarn, and it has a really beautiful, almost like mossy greens, browns, different shades of blue kind of speckled and variegated throughout that like navy blue to give this really gorgeous color. And I held it together with Knitting for Olive's soft silk mohair in a deep petroleum blue, which was just like the most perfect color match anyone could ask for. If you ever want just like a super quick knit that is super easy to wear, I 100% recommend the Felix Pullover by Christoffers, and I may or may not already have yarn to knit a second one. But that being said, let's jump into some finished objects. Before we jump into some finished objects, I do want to mention that the lighting may shift today. It is quite rainy in Portland. Obviously, we are entering in the quintessential rainy season of the Pacific Northwest, and it has been quite rainy, overcast, sunny, shifty today, so the lighting may change, so just be aware of that. I have some different lights up, which is why you kind of see this circle here. That is my husband's super fancy film and photography light, and it does kind of reflect in my yarn shelf, so that'll be here for this episode. It won't be there every time, but I just kind of needed a little extra lighting in the office today because it is quite overcast outside, just so we could really see all of my projects in yarn that I want to share with you guys today. But on to the cool stuff. So the first finished object I want to share with you guys today is none other than the Sunshine Tee by Andrea Gaughan. This is a summer project that I casted on late August and just finished beginning of October, so unfortunately it will not be getting a ton of wear this year, but it will definitely be getting a lot of wear next year. The yarn that I chose to knit my project in is Knitting for Olive's Cotton Merino. My main color I chose to use was Dusty Blue Whale, which is this really beautiful, again, if you can't see the theme, like a dusty navy blue. And I chose to do the striped version, but I chose to do like two different colored stripes. So I chose to do like a soft pink in Ballerina and then soft blue. And it looks beautiful. It took me quite a long time because it is a fingering weight project, but absolutely love how it turned out. I also opted to do the bust shaping, as you can kind of see right here across the front chest. This is the first time I've ever done bust shaping, and I really liked the fit of it actually. When I knit anything more fitted, or in general really, because of my bust size in general, it will kind of lift the front of the t-shirt, or I kind of have to go up in size to accommodate for the size of my bust. So doing the bust shaping kind of fixed both of those problems for me. So the upper chest actually fits really nice. It isn't oversized and I don't have a ton of extra fabric, and the front of the shirt isn't lifting because of my chest rising up the fabric, which is super great. But really enjoyed this. I also love the details of this project so much. So the Sunshine Tee, unlike a lot of patterns will have you do like a ribbed collar, cuff, and hem. This one has you do a folded over edge for the sleeves, the collar, as well as the hem. It does take a little extra time because you do have to hand sew it down, but man, is that finishing detail gorgeous. And because of the way she has you do the collar, you do get this really lovely, almost like lateral braid situation along the collar, which I think is super, super lovely. The situation with this is I finished it probably a week or so ago, tried it on, and I was like, this is a really awkward length. Why is this such an awkward length? And it also was like flaring really weird. And I went back to the pattern and I realized that I didn't do a decrease round. She has you do a decrease round right before you start to do the stockinette for the folded hem. And the point of that decrease round is to negate the flare of the hem that happens when you do a folded hem. Because with ribbing, it cinches it. It won't do that when you do like a stockinette hem, because it wants to like flare up and roll. So I forgot to do that, and I was worried that my shirt was going to be too short, so I opted to knit extra stripes, and I knit one more stripe that I probably should have. And I really was like not wanting to go back and having to unpick that hand-sewn hem, essentially. So what I did is I took my needle and I went through and I essentially weaved it into the stitches just underneath one stripe, and then I cut off the bottom of the shirt and I unraveled it. I took it all off, and then I just unraveled the rest of the yarn, and then I just knit from there. So this shirt ended up taking me probably about a week longer than it should have because of that. Because I skipped a part and also knit it longer than I should have, but it's fine. We're here now. But she's finished. All her ends are woven in. I just have to block it. It's really funny though, because after I finished weaving in all my ends last night, I was, out of curiosity, measured my gauge, and my gauge is not correct either. So the intended gauge for this pattern is 27 stitches over 4 inches. Mine's 24 inches per inch, which, you know, makes sense because if you remember from last episode, I was chatting to you guys about how my armhole depth was super deep, and that's because my gauge was off. And I think I probably knew that, and I just didn't want to admit it to myself. So, I mean, I tried this on after I finished it. It fits great. Like, the upper chest, probably the best fitting t-shirt I've knit. Fits perfectly up here. The neckline fits perfect. The armholes, now that I have the sleeves on, fit great. The chest fits great. The torso just has more ease than it was intended to. So the positive ease for this pattern, it was supposed to be 2 inches. I just have more positive ease than 2 inches. Not too much. Like, it's not ill-fitting, and it's not oversized. It's just giving me a more boxy fit. So at the end of the day, I didn't waste my time. It's not ill-fitting. I'm not upset at all with my end product. It's just not the intended fit I was going for initially, but I'm still very happy with it, and I will definitely be wearing it. I probably just should have measured my gauge when I realized something was off, like you're supposed to, but I did not because I'm the worst, and I just really was like blind leading the blind. I hope it's fine, and I shouldn't have done that. But it's okay, it fits, it looks great, and I think the only reason that I got away with it is because I went off of my upper bust and I did bust shaping. I think if I had just gone off of my full bust measurement, this would have been a way larger shirt than it should have been. But because I went off of my upper bust, and the difference between my upper bust and my full bust is like almost 3 inches of a difference, we would have had an issue. But because of that, it fits perfectly everywhere where I would have wanted it to fit perfectly, and it is more boxy around the area that I'm okay with it being more boxy. So we're all right. But if you're a new knitter watching this, learn from my mistakes and measure your gauge mid-project. It is always good just to check, because even though we knit a swatch, the swatch never perfectly mimics when you are knitting a full garment. Because a full garment with hundreds of stitches always knits differently than a little 4x4 square. But needless to say, really, really love it. I am very happy with how it fits, very happy with the bust shaping. I will be very interested in including bust shaping in more fitted fitted projects going forward, because I have avoided more fitted projects because of my bust. And now I don't have a reason to do that, especially if they do include bust shaping. But if you are looking for a staple summer t-shirt, I highly recommend the Sunshine Tee by Andrea Gaughan. It is probably the best fitting t-shirt pattern I have knit so far. I also really liked the Staff and Light by Rebecca Clow as well. That one has also fit me very well. Really, really love this. I do have yarn to knit a second one next summer. So knowing what I know now, I will keep that in mind for my gauge. Also, as a heads up, because I did knit 2 different colored stripes, if you like the way my project looks with the 2 colored stripes, just as a heads up, in her pattern, she does let you know that if you do the bust shaping to have she gives you a suggestion on the number repeat for your stripes in order to keep the repeat intact when you do the bust shaping, because of the math of it and how it breaks out depending on what bust shaping you do. I thought I was okay, but I did my counting incorrectly. So I actually ended up having 2 pink stripes next to each other on the back and not on the front. I opted to not rip back and fix it because it didn't bother me. The 2 pink stripes are on the back, not on the front. And frankly, the back is none of my business, is what I like to say. So, and honestly, I think if I'm wearing this, no one's going to be really looking that close. And honestly, I feel like if I hadn't pointed that out to you, you probably wouldn't even notice it in the first place. So, but if you are going to knit this and you do want to knit more than 1 color stripe, she has a little note in there about the number of rows for your striping repeat to keep in mind if you are doing bust shaping, so your repeat stays intact. So just pay attention to that little note if that is something that you plan to do. My only other finished object is my vanilla socks that I was knitting for the Hillsborough Hops game at the end of August. I cast these on just to have something for my hands to do during the game, and then it quickly became just my commuting project on the bus to work every day, and I just finished these yesterday. And I love them so much. They are super, super cute. They are definitely probably my favorite self-striping project that I have made so far. Something about these colors is just too stinking cute. I also love that they're just 1 stripe off. They're adorable. I cast on 56 stitches on a US 0 for my socks. I do like my socks to be pretty fitted. So I also have a looser gauge. Most people use a US 1 and they're usually pretty good. I knit pretty loosely, so I'm going down to a US 0, but I freaking love these. They're so cute. I think they're going to look so cute sticking out of the top of my Chelsea boots this fall. They're adorable, and they've been the perfect project to knit on the bus because my bus ride up to the hospital is about 20 minutes, so it's the perfect, I can probably get about 2-ish stripes done on the bus every day, so it's perfect. And it keeps me off my phone, which is really, really nice. But absolutely love these. They just need to get blocked. I put them on my sock blockers though, so you could really get a good view of how they look, but absolutely love them. My Sunshine Tee is also not blocked yet. I wove in the ends last night and I was about to block it, and I was like, well, I want to show them on the podcast tomorrow. So once we're finished today, both of these are going to get a nice soak and they're going to get blocked and they're going to be nice and fresh to wear, and I'm super, super excited. But all the ends are woven in. They just got to get dunked in the water. That is all I have for finished objects, so let's jump into works in progress. My first work in progress is the Oversized Seasons Cardigan by Ozetta. I did chat with you guys about this project last episode. I just had a little bit of it cast on right into the increases of the raglan. I was quite far actually, and I talked about how I'd already had to rip it out a few times because it was a bunch of firsts, doing a half fisherman's rib and the double knit button band, knit as you go, all the things. I have made so much progress since then. Let me grab it for you guys. I am knitting the size 5 for the Oversized Seasons cardigan, and the yarn that I'm using is Hue Loco on her Merino worsted. On her colorway Fireside, this was from her Cozy in Colorado collection a while ago. I bought this, oh god, several years ago. I don't even know how long ago. was it back when I lived in Boston? It was definitely when I lived in Boston. So at least over a year and a half ago, if not longer. So it's been quite a while since I've had this yarn. But I think I marked last time I marked, I feel like that's still not accurate, but I think I put a little marker, a little progress keeper from where I was the last time on the podcast. It's a cute little sushi dragon. I don't know if you can tell, but that's where I was last time. So since then, I have finished the raglan increases and I have split for sleeves. It's so awkward to like hold up, I feel like. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, I've split for sleeves. We are rocking and rolling. I love this cardigan. I'm super excited to give this project way more love, especially now that my sunshine tee is completed. I was really trying to get my sunshine tee completed like the end of September so I could really put a lot more time into my fall projects, but then all of the mishap happened of like finishing it and then it like fitting weird, it being the length was too long, and then the flaring happened and then I had to cut into it and like redo the whole thing, and then the hand stitching or like the hand sewing of the hem the first time sucked, and then having to do it the second time really sucked because that's a lot of stitches to hand sew down, so it just like really took a lot of time. So I'm really excited that the sunshine tee is now finished so I can really like put a lot more time into this project because it's quite literally all I've been able to think about, because this color is gorgeous and the half fisherman's rib is just so squishy. It makes me so happy. If you are new to the podcast, I chatted about this last episode, but I think the half fisherman's rib cardigan is like cracking the code for knitters, because a cardigan is like the perfect garment in the sense of like wearing, because very versatile in the sense of like they're usually pretty light and they're open, so they're easy to take off and layer when it's hot and it's cold. A lot of knitters though don't love to knit cardigans because super great when you're knitting all the way across the front on the right side, but when you're knitting on the wrong side, or when you go to knit the wrong side, it's all purls and it's usually hundreds of stitches. So, and it's flat, so it's not the most fun or convenient to knit. But for half fisherman's rib, you're doing your knit one below, purl one on your front side, but your wrong side, it's all knits. So it's not nearly as much purling. And on this specific pattern, your button band is knit as you go, so you don't have to go. So at the end of your project, you don't have to go back and pick up 100+ stitches around the front and then knit the button band. It's already done for you. So there's not nearly as much purling, and the button band is already finished by the time that you're done. So, and it's knit from the top down, so it's a lot easier to try on as you go. Like, I really feel like half fisherman's rib cardigans kind of like broke the code. I don't know about y'all, and the oversized seasons cardigan is worsted weight, so then it like doesn't take nearly as long to knit either. So like, listen, I'm not saying that this is like the perfect cardigan, but like, I think everyone should knit this cardigan. But I just like am so excited. Like my goal by next podcast is to hopefully have the body finished. And honestly, I don't think it's that lofty because it's like all I want to work on right now. Well, and now that the increases are done, this is like mindless. I can just sit in front of the TV and I can knit, and I don't really have to super pay attention. But because it's half fisherman's rib, there's still some like interest. It's still holding my interest. It's not like stockinette where it's like mindless. So it's like the perfect level of not boring, but also enough where I can like kind of turn my brain off and watch TV. It's like, I'm not saying that this is the perfect project, but it's like kind of the perfect project. Anyway, let's move on to the next one before like I get stuck and I sound like a broken record. My next work in progress is actually a new cast on. If you watched my fall project planning video a couple weeks back, this is a pattern I talked about quite in depth. That video actually has quite a few different patterns I mentioned that I am aspiring to knit this fall and winter. There's a lot of details and in-depth pattern descriptions in there, so I will put a little link up here for you to click if you'd like to go watch that. There's a lot of like pattern details, and it will hopefully give you some inspiration if you're still looking for some fall and winter pattern inspiration. But I just got to cast this on, and This is the Pressed Flower Shawl by Amy Christoffers. It looks so good, you guys. I love these colors together so much. So this is a motif I've definitely knit before. I've knit the pressed flowers cardigan before. There is many a pressed flower pattern, by the way. There's, if a shawl is not your vibe or a cardigan is not your vibe, there is a pressed flowers pullover, there's pressed flowers shocks, there's pressed flowers socks, there's a pressed flower bandana, there's an infinity scarf, there's a hat, like there's so many things to choose from. And the great thing about the pressed flowers motif is that it is mosaic color work. So if stranded color work or intarsia has always kind of intimidated you, mosaic color work is super great because you're only ever knitting with one color at a time, so you don't have to worry about yarn management and carrying your floats. It takes out the stressful part of stranded color work, but you still get like the beautiful color work motif, if that makes sense. I love mosaic color work so much, and the pressed flowers motif, I feel like it looks rather complicated, but it's really not, especially once you get like the chart down. It's super easy to memorize. And the shawl is really, really easy. Like the cardigan was my first stab at the pressed flowers motif, and I feel like I got the hang of it pretty quickly, and I wear that cardigan so much. It is so versatile. I wear it all the time, especially right when the seasons start to change. But I am obsessed with how this is coming out. The yarn that I'm using is made by Hailey and her Classic DK. Made by Hailey is a local to me dyer here in Portland. Hailey is fantastic. This is her Classic DK base. The brown is this really beautiful like purpley brown called anthocyanin. And then this color is Muslin Moth, which is like a purpley taupe almost. It's kind of hard to like pick it up on camera, but in person they both have this really beautiful purple undertone, and I love it so much, and they almost both bring out the purple in each other, which is like gorgeous. And I just feel like you can't tell me that this doesn't give like late November, December, like overcast, rainy vibes. Like I can just picture myself like curled up, like I am about to like meet up my friend for coffee, and it's super overcast, and like all the leaves are on the ground, and it's like 40 degrees, it's windy, and I'm all like nestled up in this. It's gonna be so great, and it looks gorgeous. Like it really does. It looks so beautiful. I do feel like the purple is coming through in the flowers. Oh my god. To say that I'm obsessed with my projects right now is like an understatement. Like they're bringing me so much joy. The fall season is every knitter's dream. My fall projects are just bringing me so much joy right now. It's like all I want to do right now is knit on these projects, which is why my sunshine tea was such like painstakingly like I need to finish this, and I almost like wouldn't let myself work on these projects until I finished my sunshine tea, because I knew it wouldn't get done, especially when I realized I needed to like cut into it to fix the issue. I was like, if I don't do this and I work on my other projects, it's never gonna get done. So I'm glad I just did it, so now I can really just like work on these projects that are like really bringing me a lot of joy right now. That's all I have for works in progress. I don't have any spinning right now because again, like I have been knitting like a monster recently. I do have some acquisitions though. My first acquisition, let me grab it. So my first acquisition is actually this beautiful, it's kind of hard to see because of my lighting. It's kind of hard to see. It's a pretty dark yarn. But this is Barocco Vintage DK, which is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon in the color Black Currant, which is this really beautiful, like purpley burgundy red color. And this is going to be a Lanark for my husband, Cameron. I plan for this to be his Christmas present, and I understand that it is already October already. I gotta get cracking, you guys. I gotta get going. I feel like October really creeped up on me this year, and December is in a little over 2 months. And it is a men's, half fisherman's rib, zip-up sweater. gonna take me a while, and it's DK weight, so it's not gonna go as fast as my cardigan. I need to get going. I think it's going to be a really beautiful color. I did choose this yarn specifically because Cameron is quite sensitive to like wool and scratchy wool, so it really needed to be something like touchably soft. So even though there is acrylic in here, it is very, very touchably soft, so I know his skin will handle it really, really well. So I need to start swatching with this soon. If you guys have knit with this before, please let me know how you like it. I know a lot of people love Barocco, and Barocco is very affordable. I was able to snag this from Knit Picks during their Labor Day sale back in September, so I definitely got quite a good deal on it, especially because I had to buy quite a few skeins because my husband does have like a 50-centimeter chest, so I did have to grab quite a bit of yarn, especially because it is a half fisherman's rib zip-up sweater, so it does eat up quite a bit of yarn as well. So, super excited. The color is lovely. It's going to look so nice on him. I'm very excited to knit this for him. He is very aware that I am making this for him. He does watch the podcast. He does help me edit the videos and like color correct my videos. So he does know that I will be knitting this for him. He is also very aware that it might not make the deadline of Christmas, which he's okay with. He is like, you're knitting it with your love. That's okay. I understand, which is very, very sweet of him. So I'll be working on this very, very soon. Hopefully within the next like week or two, I'll get this on the needles. And hopefully it won't take me too long because I really would like to get this to him by Christmas. The only other acquisition I have is actually not a yarn acquisition, but my glasses. I just got new glasses. These are the Anaya frames from Warby Parker. They are not a frame shape I would normally choose for myself, but Cameron picked them out for me and I actually really, really love them. I love the like retro square shape a lot, and I love the like brushed gold as well. Normally I'm a silver girly, but I love the softness of the gold and I feel like it really complements my skin tone very well, so love them very much. I feel like a cool girl when I wear them, so they give me a lot of confidence. That is all I have for acquisitions, so let's jump into some live stuff. When it comes to what I am reading, I have finished the first book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series by Carissa Broadbent, which was the Serpent and the Wings of Night. Very, very good. Very much like, I think I described it as if the Hunger Games was more brutal with vampires. I feel like is a very good summation. And then I am now on the second book, which is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. Very, very good. It's like the aftermath of the Hunger Games, which is, oh, it's so good. I just haven't been doing a lot of reading lately because I've been so into knitting and because I've really been focused on finishing my Sunshine Tea. But if you are interested in like a potato chip read that is like very easy and quick to read, I very much recommend. It is a unfinished series. I think there's definitely at least 4 out. There may be more. My coworker is the one who recommended this series to me in the first place. I think she's on book 4, has finished book 4. The first 2 books are about a set of characters and the second 2 books are about a different set of characters. So it is very easy to read the first 2 and then you could like take a break and read a different book and then you could pick up the 3rd and 4th book if you wanted, which is actually my plan. Once I finish this book, I actually plan to pick up the new Jennifer L. Armentrout book, The Primal of Blood and Ash. It is her newest book. It is the 5th book of From Blood and Ash. It is, I pre-ordered it and it is already on my Kindle and it's been burning a hole in my Kindle ever since it got downloaded at midnight. And I'm really, really excited to read it. I've heard mixed reviews. It is quite large, but I'm very excited to read it. So I do need to finish this book so I can read The Primal of Blood and Ash, and once I read that, I will return to Carissa Broadbent's The Crown of Nyaxia and read book 3 and 4. But, again, if you are interested in, like, a really good, like, I wouldn't call it super, super intense, but, like, there's definitely, like, it's hard to put down, I would recommend The Crowns of Nyaxia by Carissa Broadbent. As for what I'm watching, I am now all caught up on Outlander, and I have completely binged and finished Blood of My Blood, which is the prequel series to Outlander that came out recently. Very, very good. It's about Claire and Jamie's parents. They actually end up going into the past also, which was really interesting to see, like, their journey. I really, really enjoyed it. I love a period piece, so I'm always here for Outlander, so Blood of My Blood was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. Cameron and I are actually watching Peaky Blinders right now. I have already seen Peaky Blinders, so it's a rewatch for me, but I watched it probably about a year ago. Cameron's never seen it though, so it's super fun for me to be rewatching it and be reminded of everything going on and like seeing his reactions for the first time. Peaky Blinders is such a good show. If you've never seen it, I definitely recommend it. It is based in 1914, just after World War I, in Birmingham, England, and it's like a gangster mafia series. Cillian Murphy's in it. I'm sure you've heard about it. It is a very good show. Definitely recommend it. I love it very much. I think there's only like 6 episodes per season. There's 6 seasons. It did just get renewed for 2 more seasons, and the 2 new seasons are going to be based either during or just after World War II. So if you ever need like a good show to binge, Peaky Blinders is definitely the one. I also just started Critical Role Campaign 4. So if you are into D&D or if you watch Critical Role, you will know that Campaign 4 just started. Critical Role just broadcasted episode 1 of Campaign 4 this past Thursday night, and this is the first time I'm actually able to watch the live broadcast, which is super, super exciting. They are doing something so different this time. They have a new GM. I'm super excited to see what Brennan does with the campaign. I'm really excited to see Matt Mercer, who was the previous GM for the last 3 campaigns, be a player. They're also bringing in a bunch of new players. There's 13 players total. All the characters seem super fun. The story so far seems super cool. I love D&D and I love Critical Role, so I'm super excited to stay tuned in with the new campaign over the next however many years it takes. If you're at all interested in D&D, I definitely recommend checking out Critical Role or Dimension 20. It definitely makes D&D very approachable to the average person. Other than what I'm reading and watching, I am actually trying to revive my sourdough starter. Back when I lived in Boston, I started my own sourdough starter from scratch, and I actually got it going pretty well. I got to bake some loaves of my own and really had like such a great time baking sourdough and doing like sourdough discard recipes like pretzels and cinnamon rolls and all that stuff. I was a microbiologist at Boston Children's Hospital back when I lived in Boston a couple of years ago, so I really just loved like the science and microbiology aspect of sourdough specifically. But when we moved to Portland, I dehydrated my starter and it never really quite like bounced back. I did get it to start rising and kind of being active again once we moved here, but it never quite produced sourdough loaves to the effect that it did back in Boston, like the whole year we were here. And then when we moved to the new apartment that we're in now, I ended up just putting it into our fridge because I was like, I don't have the mental capacity to feed you and keep you alive right now. So it has been in our fridge for quite a few months, and I just recently pulled it out and I'm trying my best to revive it, and he is actually doing really, really well. I'm quite surprised. So it's been about just a few days and he's already doubling after I feed him. So I'm super, super stoked. So fingers crossed, in about a week, I might be able to actually get some sourdough bread. We'll have to see. Let me know if you guys also are into sourdough bread because I love it. It's so much fun. I am very hopeful that he will bounce back. That's all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And click that bell icon if you guys want to get any notifications for when I post in the future. Thank you so much for stopping at my little crafty corner of YouTube and sharing your time with me today. See you next time. Bye.